Kilo, Juliet 7, Oscar, Romeo Victor.
J7 ORV, KJ7, YGX, hello, how you doing?
Hey William, doing pretty good. Looked like my squelch was too high. Did you get back to me earlier?
Yeah, I keyed up like 3 or 4 times and nothing. Nobody heard me.
Yeah, I thought it was curious that I didn't hear the repeater. It looked like my squelch was way too high for WA7HJR today.
I thought maybe my radio was messing up, not transmitting.
Nah, you're in there. How's it going, man? Haven't talked to you in a bit. Yeah, that day I was just driving and the transmission from my area over here just isn't great into the repeater, and just a couple of areas it goes well and other areas just kind of fades out.
Really, that's hard to believe. I thought you can get into HJR from pretty much anywhere. Driving a big van or something else.
Yeah, there's just a couple of hills that's in the way, like Queen Anne is pretty tall. It's like 400-500 feet, and then the other one's Finney Ridge, which is about 300 feet. So yeah, so this just just because I'm down at the bottom near the water, and so transmitting out, it doesn't get out because I'm only transmitting like 15 watts into my little antenna on the van. So I can hear the repeater. So I guess if I was shooting out 50 watts or had a more gainy antenna, I might have had better luck.
Still using that same radio. You can't even buy those anymore.
Yeah, I really like that radio. It works out pretty well.
Why is it only 15 watts? I thought those put out almost 50, or do you just run it on medium or low power?
I run it on medium because there was a reason. The reason is because I have a really long run for the power, and the gauge of the wire is not very thick. So when I try to transmit 50 watts and the radio tries to pull, I think like 9 or 10 amps, somewhere around there. Right, like initially it pulls like 10 to 12 amps just for that initial, and then it'll pull down to 8 or 9. I think I measured it. Anyways, when it tries to pull that amperage, my battery just says nope, can't give it to you, and then it just kind of breaks out. um, so it's got its own safety mechanism, which is good because if the battery didn't have that controller, it would draw it out and the wire would probably get too hot. I mean, the van's like 19 feet long, right? And the way I got the wires in there, I mean, literally the wire is probably like 24 feet long, I would imagine, from where I have running it.
No, is the battery located in the back on the van instead of the front in the engine compartment?
It's my house battery, so yeah, it's all the way in the back. It's not the engine battery.
Oh, okay, you run a separate whatever, I can't even pronounce it. Accessory battery or whatever, auxiliary battery, that's what I'm trying to think of.
Yeah, that's probably a better name for it. I just call it the house battery and pretend that the van is a house. But yeah, the battery is independent of the wiring of the van, except that it does charge from the alternator. So, but there is a break in there somewhere. But it's the battery controller is pretty segregated, and it runs the lights and the fan and the diesel heater in the van and the radio. I figure I put the radio on that because then I can use the radio with the van off and I don't have to worry about it.
Oh, cool. I didn't know you had a little diesel heater in the van. Is that a 5K, 8K? What kind of diesel heater you got in there?
Yeah, it's one of those Chinese 5K heater. It's got its own little gallon tank, so it's all segregated on itself.
Yeah, those are cool, yeah. Because Ryan got one. He's going to hook up to try to run. Jamie has one to heat up his garage. That's where they're going to put one of those little diesel heater. My co-worker at work uses it to heat up his garage.
Yeah, they're great. Mine was only like $170, and it came as a build kit, so it was already built. I just had to plug in a couple of things. So it's like a self-contained unit, because there's kits where you can buy that you wire it up and hook it up however you need it to, but this one is like self-contained. All I had to do was run the exhaust out and the intake and the power.
Yeah, that's probably the hardest part is cutting a hole somewhere or running a hole through for the intake and exhaust. In a van, at least you don't have to worry about. I guess you do have to worry about stuff catching on fire, but I was gonna say it's metal, so you just have to be away from your wires and your fuel lines and brake lines.
KJ7ORV. Yeah, it's not much. I mean, the outside's metal, but the inside is not metal at all. I haven't. You haven't seen my van. You've seen my van, haven't you? It's all canvas and wood.
That's a long, long time since I remember seeing it. I only remember seeing the inside one time or maybe two times on the hikes.
Yeah. So it's pretty much all. The floor is wood, and then the walls are cotton canvas, and so is the ceiling. And between the canvas and the metal, there's like a 3-4 inch gap filled with sheep's wool insulation.
That heated air is fully enclosed with the fuel tank built in, or is it one of those little small round ones where it has a fuel tank separate and a fuel pump separate where you have to mount it?
It's got a little tank, a little baby tank. I think it's less than a gallon, and it's got its own little pump, which is quite loud. That's the loudest part of the whole system, the little cheap pump. But it's all self-contained. It's just one unit.
Okay, so it must be a square or box, hexagon box or whatever. Yep, some of those ones are just small little round things, and you have the tank that you mount on the wall somewheres, and then a fuel pump you mount somewheres, and then it can mount either the exhaust going straight down or off to the side, but most of them the exhaust comes out the bottom.
Yeah, it's basically that, except that all those pieces are inside a metal box, and yeah, so the way I have it in there is not very easy to take out, but if you were to buy that unit, you could, for example, if you were camping, you could hook that up outside your tent and just run the just run the some tubing to inside the van to heat up the air inside the tent. I said van, but I meant tent. If you were going to winter camp or something, so then the unit would be outside the tent, and all you have is a tubing that warms up the air inside the tent and heating the exhaust outside and the electric outside and all that good jazz there.
Yeah, I've seen some YouTube and some places people do it like that, even for a little RV trailer that didn't have heating. They run it into a window. Yeah, put the tubing from the outside in, or you can do it like you say, run the tubing through the zipper and close down onto the tubing to heat up the tent. Yeah.
Yeah, I thought Devin was gonna get one of those and do that because I know he goes out there sometimes and it's a bit in the colder side. Even if it isn't cold, it's wet, and having that dry heat is super nice.
Does it blow out enough, like if you wanted to sit outside in the cold and just have that thing blowing on you out in the open, or does it not put out enough heat to really kind of keep you warm?
I guess it would depend on a lot of things. But no, it blows a lot of heat. It's pretty strong. Like I leave it on when I use it. I leave it on the lowest setting, and still gets too hot in the van, so I have to vent it out. But yeah, so if you were to sit in front of it, yeah, it would blow a quite amount of heat, I believe. Actually, I have to test it.
Isn't that thing electronically temperature controlled, where you can set a temperature and it kicks it off and on? KJ7YGX.
KJ7ORV. No, my unit is very basic. It doesn't have the controller. It just has an on and off, and then you can adjust the kilowatts that you want out from like 5 all the way down to 1. I wish I could get down to like 0.5. That'd be nice.
Okay, so you got the real simple, basic one. Yeah. I've seen ones that have digital readouts where you can set the temp and it automatically turns off and on by itself.
Yeah, there's some nice ones. There's some that even have the Bluetooth that same controller that does automatically will have Bluetooth, so you can control it from your phone or something.
So what you doing? Just driving home from work, or are you just out and about driving around?
No, I'm actually at home today. I'm on the radio at my home station.
So are you? Because it sounds like the signal's fading in and out, in and out. I don't know if it's doing it on my end, but it sounded like you were driving is why I was asking. Okay.
Yeah, I was having that fading in and out as well. That's why the squelch didn't pick it up and I didn't hear you. I put it up to 10 watts. I was on 5 watts before, so if it's still fading, then it's your receive. Otherwise, yeah.
Yeah, that sounded a lot more solid that time. I didn't hear the static going in and out like you were walking around or driving. I didn't realize you were on your base station.
Yeah, sometimes it gets a bit weird here. Yeah, I'm shooting out what is it, 10 watts, and the little power supply is drawing what is that, about 5 amps. What about you, William? How you been? I haven't talked to you in a very long time. How's everything on your side of the world? You got any new radios over there and any new toys? You're always messing with some antennas. Anything fun?
I don't know when I talked to you last time, so I don't know. I got a Yagi I'm talking on. I don't know if I told you that last time or not. 7-element pointing to Tiger Mountain for GMRS, and this on it now, so I don't have that multi-path problem. I think I talked to you about that before. And had a good Thanksgiving, went to my mom's, we cooked our own turkey, and I don't know how your Thanksgiving was, but ours was great. My through the glass mount antenna fell off my car yesterday or the other day, but it still has like a 2 SWRs. I've still been talking on it, and I still hit HJR GMRS 18 with no antenna on the outside of my car, just the part that sticks on the glass on the inside. So I don't know what. That's about it.
K4FLY.
Hi, Jason. KJ7 ORV. That's really funny that your radio still works with no antenna. Yeah, that's. I guess you don't need it. You're always on. Yeah, I think you're still using. You're still using the Baofeng on the car. I believe. Question, or did you install something in there? I know you keep talking about it, and so come back to me later. I'll throw it off to Jason there. Go ahead, K4FOI, KJ7RV.
Hey, I heard you guys talking earlier, but I was in a call, so I thought I'd jump in and say hello. I'm trying to recover from cold I've been fighting for the past couple days, but yeah, hopefully I will win that battle. I'm starting to wonder if I will, though. Yeah, the whole thing about antennas has always been a hoax. Everybody should know that, right? Radios don't need antennas. That's silliness. That's just a marketing ploy to make you spend more money. Obviously, I don't have anything constructive or of any value to add to the conversation. I just wanted to drop in and say hello. That's it. Over to William.
I've been running a mobile radio. I got another TYT 9800 that Rick gave me from Puyallup, and I've been running that in my mobile. It's about 25-30 watts on high. I don't know, it's supposed to put out more than that, but my watt meter only says it does 25-30 watts. And that's what I've been running in there. In my, I don't use HT for the last, I don't know, 6 months or more, maybe almost a year. I don't know if it's been a year. I know it's been more than 6 months, I'm pretty sure.
You're running 20 to 30 watts without an antenna. I don't know the physics of that, but that is definitely something that I would not do. And I would actually love to know what the physics in that is. If the I have no idea what happens to that power if it's not propagating out. I don't know. That's an interesting question. Maybe you should ask that on the Wednesday night K7 LED tech questions. See if they come up with some interesting answers.
I think William has been fairly lucky so far. The only time I did that, it was by accident, and I mean, I had to ship my radio in to get it repaired to ICOM. was a huge bummer. But yeah, I would not do that either. I mean, 5 watts is, forgivable, but anything above that, yeah, that's pretty sketch. That's my 2 cents.
Yeah, I was worried about it a little bit, but then I put a SWR meter on it. It's 1.6 on GMRS and a 2 on this channel. On high, on low power, it's like a 1.5 on this channel and a 1.1 on GMRS. But I wasn't going to use it if it was over 2, but I've had regular mag mount antennas on the roof with a 2.5 SWR on them, UHF, VHF antennas that are on the roof that are not having any problems that I know of, except that it needs to be matched up. I ordered an antenna. I don't know if it's going to work any better or not. I think it's using actually the heater grid on the back window because that thing was stuck right over a heater grid wire. So it's transmitting probably into the heater grid on the back window.
Oh God. Okay. Yeah, I mean, if your SWR is like that, maybe you need another measuring tool, a different SWR, and compare it if you get the same one. That would be an interesting test. And yeah, I guess if it's tacked onto that wire in the back, because yeah, I was trying to think about your antenna because it's the one you hook up to the window, and I wonder if it's just that's yeah, I wonder if that wire that heats up the window is metal. I guess it would be metal, so maybe your your power is actually going into that, and then maybe hooking it back up into whatever controller is on the other side of that, and then going down your car somewhere. I don't know. That sounds I'm glad it's working for you, and I hope nothing bad happens. But that is quite a scenario there you got there, William. That's pretty great, I gotta say.
Go ahead, William. I'll be on the side listening. K4FOY.
You can talk. It's okay to be in the 3 thing. I usually don't like talking that much. I don't know what to say, but I was surprised too about how it was working. Everybody who hears me said it sounds like it's working better.
It sounds like it's working better. That's great. And I forgot to say, yeah, Jason, you sound very stuffy, and I hope you feel better. If you need a Chinese herbalist that will read your pulse and cook up a nice potion of goodies for you, and I mean that in a sense of Chinese medicine. If you would like some Chinese doctor to get a pulse reading of you and write up a prescription of herbs and teas to make you heal better, I know of a good one that I really liked. We were coughing for, I don't know, like 3 or 4 weeks after our vacation to Europe, and so we had to go to this doctor, and we got really well after a week of his tea. Yeah, you put all these herbs in a pot, and you pretty much simmer it for like 20 minutes, and it's just this really nasty tasting brown liquid that you just kind of chug, and it makes you heal really well. Um, yeah, KJ7 ORV.
Well, thanks for the offer, man. That sounds delicious. Um, yeah, maybe. We'll see how things go. If I'm not better by like, I don't know, what's today, Wednesday, by like Friday, then we'll have to pull out the big guns. But yeah, it started off pretty light. I thought I was over it by like Sunday, and then Monday it actually got worse. So, and it's also not terrible. It's not like I have this like running fever or anything, like a severe cough or anything like that. I'm just ready for it to be over. It's a cold, and I usually get over these things like in a day, and this one has dragged on, so I'm just being a huge baby of it, and that's why I was skipping my turn, just because it's ups and downs, you know. It's like one mechanism is taking like going and getting in the shower. That tends to just completely clear my sinuses for a little bit, and it's great. And then I'm good to go for a little bit, and then I just get congested and miserable again. So ups and downs, man, the roller coaster. But I've got a little Instacart headed my way right now with some Theraflu, and that should help, I think. And yeah, man. Let me reset because I do want to share a little bit of good news that I don't think I told you. Stand by. Yeah, so I didn't buy a ton of stuff for Black Friday because I just don't usually do such a thing. But this time I got a little mini PC, you know, like those little Intel NUC things, but different brand. And I have a spare monitor. Basically, I'm going to set up like a dedicated little computer for the for ham stuff. So yeah. Anyway, I've been kind of wanting to set up something here next to my radio to do some FT8 and whatever else, you know, just other stuff. Like I wanted to set up that node that I was telling William about, the Wires X node backup, since it's been offline for like a year now. So I'm going to set that back up. And general, just random little ham projects. But it's a good little computer I got for a good discount. So I'm excited about that. Anyway, over to William, K4FLY.
Darn it. I had something I was going to say. Now I had blanked out and forgot what I was going to say. But you went to Europe. What part of Europe, may I ask, did you go to and visit? I didn't hear about that.
That sounds really fun, Jason. Uh, yeah, having a little ham computer is fun. I had that for a while and set up FT8 and made a ton of contacts. Got quite it's quite fun to do that. Right now, I've actually put my HF station away, and I'm getting rid of that computer, so I don't have that anymore. But when I did, it was a lot of fun. So I hope you have a lot of fun with that. And yeah, dedicated one. Uh, you can install and run a lot of things on that. That would be fun. You can run a little Echolink thing on there too, huh? You can do all sorts of fun things. And yeah, I went. Yeah, we went to Europe. We did like a bus style tour. We went a bunch of places. I forgot them all. Uh, let's see, Lucerne, Switzerland, Frankfurt in Germany, Vienna in Austria. We went to Munich, also in Germany, and I think there's 2 or 3 more cities in there that I forget, but those are the major ones. Um, and we were in Munich for Oktoberfest accidentally. So we went to Oktoberfest. Neither of us drink, but we went to Oktoberfest, and it was quite a festival. My God, it was one of the biggest festivals I've ever been to. If not, yeah, actually, it probably is the biggest festival I've ever been to. That place was massive. It just like it blew my mind on how big it was, and it wasn't just drinking tents, not beer gardens. It was lots of carnival rides. There was a ton of carnival rides and carnival toys and games and food and those kind of snacks and pretzels because we're in Germany, and dogs of all sorts of kinds that I can't pronounce, and those sausages that they have. Yeah, a lot of fun.
That sounds really cool, man. That sounds like a happy accident. Anyway, yeah, I'm gonna drop off the conversation, not because I'm not interested, just I just don't feel well, so I'm just gonna lay flat and recover. So I'll be listening. Over to William, K4FOY.
That sounds like a blast and cool. I want to take a European vacation one of these times. That'd be fun to visit Switzerland and Germany and the other places like that. I remember I was going to say, you guys are all talking about being sick. I was like, Thanksgiving, I was like sick for like that whole week almost before. Took a bunch of COVID tests. They all come back negative, so I just had the standard cold or sniffles, I guess. And then finally on Thanksgiving Day, I finally felt 100% better to go see the family and stuff because I didn't want to go when I was like feeling so bad, and at least I was not COVID positive, so.
KJ7ORV. Yeah, that sounds about right. Something we had, something like that. We didn't have COVID, but no, man, I got really sick. I was sick as a dog for a bit, like really sick. Um, but what did I want to say? Jason, yes. Oh, thanks for coming by and saying hi. We haven't talked in a bit. I hope we can hang out more this winter. Um, I would love to catch up with you and talk shop. And manager and leadership things because I've been promoted and now I'm hiring and I have to manage people, and yeah, I know you've been doing that, so I would love to to just talk about those kind of things that are all new in my life and that you've been doing for a bit. So I hope we can catch up soon, and maybe we can do that on a chair lift or something, or a gondola ride, you know. I know you got the pass, so I'm looking forward to that. Um, but yeah.
Yeah, I guess maybe he's really going to be out. I know he's talking about wanting to go snowboarding again for sure and all that. Hopefully we get some good snow up there, even though it seems like it's going to be a warmer winter than normal this year. But he was talking about going to Colorado or Utah or somewhere. I don't remember. Some other states. If he can't get it here, he'll get it in the other states to go skiing or snowboarding, I should say. Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah. I don't know how winter's going to be. I guess they're getting a bunch of snow in elevations, so above, 2,500, 3,000 feet, there's plenty of snow, I guess.
Yeah, it's been raining all week, but this afternoon it looks like the freezing level dropped off to like 4,000 feet. So at least Crystal will be getting some snow, and Alpental probably as well. Snoqualmie probably not as much. Um, but yeah, it's a late start to the season. But you know what? There was a couple of years ago. The season didn't get started until like mid December. Um, like late December almost. I want to say like the 20th of December was the first time I went. And I usually try to go as quick as possible. I usually go on the second or third week that the resort opens. And that winter, my God, it snowed so much. Like, it snowed it's not so much. Like every time I would go, it would be dumping and snowing and snowing. Like it's not so much that after like 15 or 20 days that I had been going, I was kind of tired of it. Like I hadn't gotten one single sunny day. Every time I would go, it would be like cloudy and snowing, and though the riding is really good, there's other aspects of it that just kind of gets tiring, like clearing your goggles and making sure your clothes aren't getting wet, and then keeping everything nice and tight so you don't get wet inside, and because the snow is was pretty thick and wet. It wasn't like powdery snow. It was that Cascade concrete. Where's that SKI guy?
Let me add a comment. Yeah, so William's right. I am going with a coworker that had a spare room in his booking in Utah. It's Snowbird.
Snowbird.
So I figured I'd crash that party at the end of January. And then I was talking with another coworker that's based out of Colorado about going to Steamboat in March. So I think there are going to be at a minimum 2 trips, which is really exciting. Because last year there were 0 trips. It was all local stuff. So yeah, that should be fun. And yeah, man, happy to talk anytime about your new role and any related interesting challenges and lessons learned, and how it's evolved, because it is different today than it was just 3 years ago, for sure. There's some remarkable differences that we can talk about. Definitely not on the air. Anyway, over to William, K4FLY.
I remember all that snow when I used to snow ski all the time, when it was dumping all the time, and you'd get freezing cold riding the lift going up and get wet even if it's like a wettish type snow, and then you start skiing and you get all hot again coming down the hill. But yeah, it sucked riding the lifts out in the open. It would be kind of cool if there was more gondola type lifts, so you're not out in the cold waiting to get to the top. I guess what is there? Crystal Mountain has what, 1 or 2 there. I don't remember, never ridden on a gondola type lift anywheres to go skiing. KJ7YGX.
KJ7ORV. Thanks for coming back, Jason. I'm really happy to hear that you're gonna go to Colorado and Utah. That sounds awesome. I've heard really good things about both of those resorts. I haven't been to either of them. Snowbird, the best snow I've ever gotten was in Utah, Brighton Resort, which is near Snowbird, so the same mountain range there. Man, I got champagne powder. We were there for a week at my buddy's place, and it snowed 4 feet of snow, and it was like powdery, like literally powdery. Like, um, the way I described it is you would just go down and not worry about any bumps because the snow was so soft and light that it would just kind of move out of your way, and there was so much of it. Um, Falling on it was pretty terrible because getting up was horrendous. So make sure not to fall. Um, Getting up in that powder was really hard, but it was so good because when there's fresh snow and these bumps form in places, and if you don't navigate around them, or if you don't prepare your knees for that thing, you can get bucked up and bucked around. At least I do because I'm a noob. Um, But when I was doing the champagne powder, man, there was no worry about bumps. I could just ride. It was one of the most amazing experiences I've ever had, and that was the only time I've ever experienced that. And I haven't gone back to Utah, so I hope that you get a storm cycle when you're there or before you're there, so you can experience that because it's magical, man.
Yeah, that does sound really good. Yeah, I've heard really good things about kind of later in the season in Steamboat. It's supposed to be pretty much great conditions fairly consistently, like, in the March-ish time frame, which is great. In fact, my first experience ever snowboarding was in Steamboat, of all places. That's the first time I ever got on a snowboard, and I'm happy that it was there. I remember the experience being very enjoyable, and I remember by day 3, I was doing some pretty crazy runs, man, and really fast as well. I was with a pretty experienced friend. And I feel like the years after that, I actually took many steps back after that third day out there. But I was also younger, I think, and less, probably less scared of breaking bones. So I probably was a little bit, more loose. But yeah, I'm hoping, man. I'm hoping. I'm getting excited just hearing about it. But yeah, the big lesson learned here is, I'm from just a couple of experiences last year. I'm not going to be chomping at the bit to go out and do anything if the conditions are icy, regardless how much I want to get on the board. It's just, it's just too miserable of an experience for me anyway. Over to William. Actually, I need to drop out this time for sure because I got to call my dad back. I just realized, so I'll be offline. Over to William, K4FLY.
Yeah, I remember skiing, downhill skiing in the deep powder snow. It's totally different than compact snow skiing because when you're skiing in regular hard snow, you're leaning forward and cutting in your edges. But when you're in powder, you can't do that with skis because you'll just go straight down deep into the snow. So you kind of have to lean backwards, and it's a totally different technique to ski in the deep powder. And then, yeah, when you bite it with skis, if one of the skis pop off, oh man, if you only have brakes on there, it takes forever. Your skis go down into the snow and hundreds of feet down here to try to dig and find it. You almost need one of those GPS tracking things on your skis if you bite it in the deep powder, if you only have ski brakes on your skis and they pop off. KJ7YGX.
Yeah, yeah, it's completely different. I learned in the ice coast as we call it, so I can ride hardback really well. Um, I got the technique down, and I got the snowboard to do it, and the snowboard profile for it. Because if you have the right profile and as they call it, technology on your edge, then it's much easier to ride that packed powder or packed ice than hard pack. That's the proper terminology. So coming out here, it's been the opposite for me. I've been having to relearn how to ride powder, and the snow here is so heavy. Holy moly! Yeah, you gotta get real either technique or really strong thighs or both. And it's a lot of fun for sure.
Oh wow, you've done a lot of powder with all the times I skied for like 4, 5, 6 years in a row, took lessons. There was hardly any powder skiing, maybe once every other year. But I used to only go to Snoqualmie, so that's maybe why there wasn't a lot of powder. And maybe if I skied like Crystal Mountain, I went there like once or twice back in those days, and I didn't really like Crystal Mountain. Wanted to try Stevens and White Pass, but I never did go there either. Now I'm thinking I'm probably too old, and I got the foot injury to go skiing again, and I don't know, snowboarding's probably even worse than skiing for your ankles. I don't know. But I started thinking maybe it'd be better because you have both feet on one board, so maybe you would take the stress out of the other ankle, but I don't know.
Yeah, I can't really comment on that. I never skied. Um, but yeah, no, I got a lot of. Yeah, there was one year. Um, it wasn't last season, the season before last. So 2 seasons ago. I got 18 powder days out of 25. So yeah, it's Crystal. When the conditions are right, Crystal just gets dumped on. Like that place is crazy. That place blows my mind because there's so much snow, and the terrain there is so insane. It's just an insane mountain. And it's also insanely expensive. uh, I hear rumors that the day ticket is gonna be around $200. I think last year was like 160 for a day pass. So they're really getting their money's worth out of the season pass, because the season pass, we didn't even get the weekend season pass because that was too expensive. I don't. It was something stupid like what was it? $1,800 for a full season pass? Yeah, no thanks. We didn't go for that. We got a weekday pass, so, and that was comparably, it was like $700 when we bought it, or $600. We bought it in the spring of last year, and that's the cheapest time to buy, and it includes weekdays for the season, and then weekends after March. There's some day in March, like mid March or something. We can go weekends after that. Um, but yeah, that mountain is really expensive, and I've been in a lot of places. Their amenities aren't that great. I don't think they you get the value out of paying those kind of prices, because those are like Whistler prices. Whistler, Blackcomb, that's the same price. And Whistler Blackcomb is, I think, the second biggest resort in the whole continental here, Americas. and and Crystal is just like a small fraction of the size. It doesn't even compare in size. Uh, all right, KJ7 ORV.
Question I forgot. If you ever went to Mount Baker, that's another place I wanted to try. Even to go visit for a day. I wonder if Mount Baker is pretty good. My friends used to go up there when I was in high school to Mount Baker and Whistler, but I've never been up there to Baker. I wonder if that's worth the trip since I'm down south so far.
Oh no, I've never been there. I've heard really good things, and I've been meaning to go. Um, I I need a better vehicle for those kind of roads, I think, for me to be comfortable. Also, it's kind of far. Uh, I'm just making excuses. No, I haven't been.
Are you already halfway there compared to me? Yeah, I just want to go out there even just for a day just to check it out. Make that trip up there and check out the whole place. I don't know if it gets crazy packed like Crystal does. I hear Crystal nowadays gets so packed that you can't even find parking, that you have to have reservations now or something. I was reading something about that for parking.
Yeah, they were doing that. I think they're doing that now. I think you need reservations for the weekend. And yeah, yeah, it does get packed. You know what gets packed though? The parking lot gets packed in Crystal. The parking lot, not the not the lines waiting for the lift, not the trails. Like when the place is packed and full, where they're actually full, where they are like you can't come in because there's no parking. It's not bad because the crowd kind of spreads out. So when you're in the snow, it's pretty good. And the lines aren't that long. Even for the longest line isn't that long compared to other places. Um, but it's the parking that's the problem there. Because I've gone to Snoqualmie in the peak, and yeah, sometimes those lines like yeah, you're waiting like 20, 30 minutes just to get up a lift, and then it takes 3 minutes to get down, and then you're waiting another 30 minutes. So if I'm waiting 30 minutes and it takes me 8 minutes to 10 minutes to get down, then that's a little better. That's that's Crystal. Where if it's like 3 minutes to get down for 30 minutes, that's not a good trade-off.
Well, if the Crystal gets packed because people are hanging out in the lodges and the bars or the cabins there, because I know there's a lot of cabin rentals and hotels and things like that. If there's not really that many people on the hills, I remember there was a lot of people there when I used to ski, but that was like in the late 90s, early 2000s. So that was what 20 plus years ago. So it's probably changed mass the mountain. And they didn't have no gondola lift, and they only had one high-speed quad lift up there at that time.
Comment.
Go.
Hey guys, thanks for letting me in. I just wanted to say a hey, howdy, hello, and a friendly tip of the cat to my good friend Yuri, who I haven't talked to on radio in far too long. This is N7IQZ working in the garage, listening to you boys chat about the mountains.
Hey Devin, good to hear you. Yeah, that day on the radio, I couldn't get back to you because I don't have it. I don't have good. The repeater doesn't hear me very well when I'm over here in the lowlands of Ballard, driving around. I was just going to the supermarket, and my signal just doesn't get out, and that's why I was coming in and out for a bit when you were talking to Cami, and I tried to talk to her, and she heard me for one transmission, and then I just faded out. Um, so hi, good to hear you. Thanks for coming in and saying hello. Uh, we talked about you earlier about the diesel heater, that you need one for your adventure trailer, whatever that thing's called, which is freaking amazing, which needs a heater so that you can spend the night over at Crystal and with that heater. Hi, get it, let's go.
I like this plan. I've never put it up in the mountains like that in heavy snow. That'd be a lot of fun. I'm actually working in the garage on the kerosene heater right now in lieu of a diesel heater because I've been thinking about everybody's buying those right now, dude. Everybody's like getting them, and Jamie's got one, and Rai bought one, and I'm like, man, so in the battle trailer, that'd be cool. I'll be clear for now, boys. It's good to hear you, man. Back to you, William, N7IQZ.
I need to get out of here. It's dinner time and stuff. I don't know what I could have short. I don't really have much to talk about anymore anyways. I'm not a really talkative person, so nice talking to you, Yuri. Hate to cut it short, but need to go eat some dinner before it gets too cold. KJ7YGX.
Sounds great. Thanks for coming back to my call, William. I always enjoy talking to you and letting me blab on about all the things that I love. So I appreciate it. Enjoy your dinner there. And yeah, Devin. Yeah, I've had mine. I don't know. I've had mine for quite some time. I bought it. When did I buy it? 2019 is when I bought mine. And it's been a great addition. It was so cheap when I got it. I don't know how much they are now. I got mine for like $170. Anyways, yeah, get that heater and install it. We talked about this like two years ago on the field day, and you still haven't got one. Come on, how many other $1 million toys have you bought and not bought a $200 heater that's gonna make your life so much better? Priorities, I guess, huh? Good talking to you, Devin. Thanks for coming by and saying hello. I really enjoy all of you and appreciate it. Yeah, and I gotta be on the radio a little bit more often. Okay, I blabbed on for too long. Thank you. Kilo Juliet 7 Oscar Romeo Victor.
73, my friend, and you're not wrong. I should have gotten around to getting one a long time ago. I know. And I'm going to go over and take a look at the one that Rai got and lay hands on it, and then I'll probably end up getting myself one for Christmas. I'm trying not to spend too much money, though, because, you know, the Jeep is expensive. Hi, it's 7IQZ, clear.